Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Becca from At Home in the Sun. It has been a minute since I sat down to film. I am very excited and happy to be filming once again. I really missed you guys. I missed interacting with you and I missed your comments. And of course, I missed cash stuffing. So I did take some time to catch up on life, kind of redo our budget. So I'm going to be talking about that today. We also do have some money that we're going to be cash stuffing today, but we're going to first talk about this major budget overhaul that I ended up doing with our budget. So if you are new to budgeting, I hope this will be very helpful for you. I'm kind of going to go back to the basics in this video and start from the very beginning of what I ended up doing. I kind of needed to do that to overhaul our budget. If you're interested in the way that I have been budgeting up to this point, you can go back and watch some of my videos. Basically, we get paid twice a month on salary, so we do know how much money we're going to get with each paycheck. So it is easier in that way to budget out and plan for things. But what I have been doing previously was trying to stuff money into every single one of my categories with every paycheck. And really that wasn't working very well for us. So what I ended up doing was pulling everything back and looking at everything in a macro way from a monthly perspective. So let me move all this to the side and I'll kind of explain my process and what I ended up doing. So let me grab a calendar here. This is July 2024. It doesn't really matter what month it is, just to kind of tell you what I did. So we get paid twice a month, usually around the 15th and the 30th of the month. So if I was going to fill out a budget calendar, I would put payday here and payday here. So what you need to do if you're starting from scratch with your budget is put in when all of your bills are due. Now that has already been done, and I have had that in place for a long time. So that's one thing that I did not change. I have each bill assigned to either the mid-month paycheck, the 15th, or the end of the month paycheck, the 30th. And that has not changed. All of the bills will still be paid with their assigned paycheck. What I ended up changing about all of my other categories, so those other categories being all of our expenses like groceries, gas, spending, miscellaneous, all of those things that you spend on a regular basis. I took all of our expenses, all of our sinking funds, which is basically long-term savings. So that could be holidays, saving for life insurance, saving for birthdays, anything like that. I took all of our expenses, sinking funds, and anything left over, which will be going into savings. And what I did was I treated it just like a bill and I assigned it to one of the paychecks. So for example, if we're talking about groceries, which is our biggest expense, I assigned groceries to one of the paychecks. So I ended up assigning it to our end of the month paycheck. And what I'm going to be doing is pulling out money for the entire month to cover groceries. So that means with our mid-month paycheck, the 15th, we will not be stuffing any money into groceries. All of the money for the whole month for that category will be coming out of one paycheck. And I did that with every single category that I had. And it did take a while of me like finagling with the numbers and changing things around to be able to get something that would work well for our family. In doing this, especially for groceries, which like I said is our biggest expense, my plan to get our grocery budget down is to take that money and say, okay, this is what we have for the whole month. We're going to go to a wholesale club like Sam's, BJ's, Costco, whatever you have in your area. And I'm going to buy my most expensive things at that wholesale club to last us the whole month. This is also going to require some meal planning on my part, but that's okay. I meal plan every week. So meal planning for a whole month is really not that big of a deal. So our meat, our eggs, our bacon, things like that. Those are the most expensive things at a regular grocery store, but you can get them for cheaper at wholesale clubs. And this is something that we used to do. I don't know why we stopped doing it. We haven't done it in several years, but that is our plan right now. Now we do have a deep freezer, so we do have the space to store. So these are all things that, you would have to take into consideration if you were thinking about implementing like a monthly budget kind of like this. So I'm hoping that, especially for groceries, that will help us bring things down and I will be able to stuff less into groceries and free up some money for some other categories. So all of our other expenses and sinking funds, I'm also doing that same method with. So our homeschool stuff, stuff for toiletries or beauty, self-care funding, maybe you have lawn care or you give yourself an allowance, like a spending allowance every month, or your Amazon or Etsy list, whatever it is. I took all of my other categories and I assigned them to either the mid-month paycheck or the end of the month paycheck, and they will only get funded once a month. So basically that is the big change that I have made, is the way I'm going to be cash stuffing. And also previously I was cash stuffing basically everything except for bills, and I think one of my sinking funds, which was my digital yearly subscriptions. That was always in the bank. I did not pull the cash out. I was cash stuffing everything else. I was pulling a lot of money out of the bank and cash stuffing it like every 2 weeks, every time that we got paid. So that changed as well. I'm not going to be cash stuffing as many categories as before. It was getting to be a little too stressful, trying to juggle all of that money around and stuff like that. So I made some changes in that way as well. So let me close this up and I will tell you what changes I made. All right, so on the screen here, I'm going to list all of my categories that I have. Now this might look different for you. Everybody's going to have some different categories that they want to budget for, but these are all of mine. This does not include any of my bills. I don't do that on camera. This just includes our expenses, sinking funds, and then whatever is left over for savings. So as you can see, I have a lot of categories, and that was a little bit overwhelming. Like I said, pulling all the cash out for that. So that's why I needed to make some changes. So moving forward, I am going to be cash stuffing some categories still, and I'm going to be using my Twilight binder as my cash binder to continue stuffing. I also am going to be cash stuffing my savings challenges, but I'm not going to talk too much about savings today. So this is my cash stuffing binder. Some of my categories have moved to my checking account, and all of my sinking funds have moved to a high yield savings account. So I'm going to bring up my categories back on the screen now, and I'm going to show you how I kind of reordered everything. So my first category is cash envelopes. I will still be cash stuffing all of these categories, and you guys will see that in my videos. My second category is going to be digital expenses, and all of these things will stay in a checking account. And for this one, I've been using this spending tracker binder to track all of my spending for those digital categories. So it's not a ton. I have 6 different categories that I have been keeping in the checking account and spending out of the checking account. And these are the trackers that I'm using to keep track of everything. So these are groceries, Amazon, subscribe and save, garden, lawn, miscellaneous, and my husband's allowance. So I am using trackers to track all of those. This is the same thing, it's just a different title. So this is the blank one. So let me show you what the blank ones look like. They do have cash envelopes. So if you wanted to also save some cash in this category, you have the option to do that. That's why I wanted to use cash envelopes with tabs. So if I did have some cash, like for groceries, I could just stick it in here and use it for groceries. So I have been using these budget sheets. Basically, these are just trackers to track every time that I spend or every time that I add some money to this. I can keep track of the balance and how much it should be in my checking account so I don't overspend. So that's what each tab looks like. I do have these available in my Etsy shop if you guys are interested in getting a binder like this. I have these 2 different titles, budget trackers or spending trackers. Or I have the option to just completely change the title and add whatever title you want, and also have these tabbed cash envelopes available in my shop as well if you would like to purchase one of these. But I have been using this like really consistently to track all of our digital stuff that's in our checking account, and it's been very helpful for me. This also has been really helpful for my husband, because if he needs to know how much money is in a specific category, instead of asking me, he can just come look at this. Like if he needs something for the lawn, he can come and see how much money is in there. All right, so moving on to sinking funds. That is my biggest category. I have the most different categories in sinking funds, and all of those moved to a high yield savings account. So sinking funds are long-term savings. They're all up on the screen here so you guys can see all my different categories. I was cash stuffing all of these, but I decided to move them to a high yield savings account. And these are really easy to keep track of because of our online bank that we use. We do use Ally, and they have what they call buckets in their high yield savings account, which is basically just digital cash envelopes. So it's super easy to keep track of all your different categories. I don't even need trackers for my sinking funds. So I definitely encourage you to check out Ally if you're in the United States. We've been really, really happy with them so far. And so I wanted to put all that money back into the bank because we don't use it on a regular basis, but it can sit there and collect interest for us. So I did want to put that back in the bank. And then lastly, let's talk about savings. I am still going to cash stuff our savings challenges. There's lots of fun games and savings challenges that I still want to do, and that does require cash stuffing. So I am still going to be doing that. So I'll still have regular cash stuffing videos and savings challenge videos for you guys. All right, so let me grab my cash envelope tray here so we can do our cash stuffing, because I do have some cash to stuff today, and I have a few new categories that we will talk about as well that I've added to my cash envelopes. So today to stuff, we have 100, 200, 300, 350, 370, 390, 410, 430, 450, 460, 470, 480, 490, 500. 510, 520, 530, 540, 550, 554. So 554 we are going to be cash stuffing today. I think some of this is for savings challenges, which I will do in a separate video because I do have some new savings challenges to show you guys, some new things in the shop. So I will do savings challenges separately. All right, so let's go ahead and stuff some cash. All right, so I did change, like I said, some of the categories that I had in here. If you are a returning viewer, this might look a little bit different to you. So right now in this binder, I have pets, health, you and me, which is for my husband and I, gifts, birthdays, this is immediate family only, massage, which is self-care, something that my husband and I are trying to get better about is self-care. Spruce up, this is a new one. I had to rack my brain trying to come up with a good envelope title for this category because it was encompassing like skincare, makeup, beauty, and clothing. And I couldn't think of a good title. And finally I thought of Spruce Up. I thought that was cute. So this one is for Spruce Up. It covers several different things. And then we also have a fun envelope for doing fun things, activities, play dates, and things with my kids. So that is what we're doing. And then back here, I am still working on my $1,000 savings challenge. I also have this in this binder. So we'll see this one again when I do my savings challenges. All right, so remember, we are stuffing for an entire month. That is my new method. So some of the amounts that I'm going to be stuffing might seem like a lot, but we are stuffing for the entire month. So that is why they are larger. All right, so we're not stuffing pets today. We're not stuffing health. You and me is still got some money in it, so we're not stuffing that one. Gifts, we are stuffing. So this is gifts for people outside of our immediate family for birthdays and things like that. So we're gonna stuff $50 into gifts. So gifts has 110. Birthdays, that one is not getting stuffed. We don't have another birthday in our immediate family until January. So we have some time to get that one built up again. So massage, we're going to add $100 to massage for the month. This is one thing that my husband and I talked about. We both have a lot of back problems, back pain, muscle pain. My husband sits at a desk most of the day, so he has a lot of pain. I also have some back problems, and I feel super guilty when I spend money on self-care things that, you know, are this expensive, but I am trying to get over like the guilt of spending money on myself on things like this. If we do have the money in our budget, we can make it work, then maybe a massage once a month would be good for both of us. So we're going to see how that works out. And like if we're short on cash, this would be like the first thing that we didn't stuff. All right, so Spruce Up, we're going to be adding something to this. So this covers, like I said, makeup, beauty, skincare, and clothing. So Spruce Up is going to be getting $100 for the month. And fun, we are not stuffing fun today. So those are the ones we're going to be stuffing today. So for my digital expenses, I did stuff some money into groceries, our Amazon subscribe and save. We stuffed some into lawn and some into my husband's allowance with this paycheck. I will show you guys kind of what my trackers look like. My grocery tab is so messy, so I'm not going to show you that one. That one is a mess. But for example, this is how I've been tracking the lawn category. So on 9/11, I added $125 and then we spent $42.88. So we have $82.12 left. So that's all that I'm doing, just tracking each category so we know exactly how much money that we have to spend for each thing so we don't overspend. One thing to note is that we are still using a credit card, but we pay the balance off every month. So for example, since we're doing this monthly budget, if we have not got to the paycheck yet where we need to stuff, for example, like our fun money, but my kids have a play date with one of their friends, I will put it on the credit card. And then when I'm able to stuff that fun money, I'll just pay myself back. So that's why we are still using a credit card, especially for a method like this. But we do still have to be very careful not to overspend. We were doing some overspending this past summer and spring, and we finally got caught up with paying off the credit card. And I have been being super, super careful to not overspend these last few weeks because I don't want to get back to that position because it causes a lot of anxiety and things like that. All right, so the rest of this money is going to be going into our savings challenges, and I'm really excited to show you guys some of the new challenges that I'm going to be doing. So we have 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, $304. This is all going to be going towards savings. So I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about how we're budgeting and how we change things around, please leave your questions down below in the comments. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you later. Bye.